Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwater.co. Today I am with Erin Wallace, and I'm super excited about this conversation. She's a Universal Hermetic Ray Kabbalah teacher, and we haven't talked about Kabbalah yet, and that's what I'm super excited about. But she's also the leader of the California Modern Mystery School, which is also super cool. We have so much that we could talk about. We could do tons of episodes if you wanted to.
Let's Thank you
Start
so
with
much for having me,
that.
Savannah. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for so tell us what the Kabbalah is for people who, because some of us kind of know like it's the tree of life in a nutshell, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. So for those who have maybe never even heard of what it is at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of different Kabbalahs. There's Jewish Kabbalah, there's Christian Kabbalah, there's even Muslim Kabbalah. We teach the kind that I teach is universal. So a lot of times people associate it with the Jewish religion, which is true. There is a Jewish Kabbalah, and the kind that we teach with the Modern Mystery School, this is the Tree of Life here, is for everybody, regardless of your race, religion, or belief system, because we all have the DNA of the Creator, God. And it's the deepest esoteric study of the God essence within humans. And so this glyph here is called the Tree of Life. And if you can see it, but if you made this three-dimensional and twisted it, it would look like our DNA. So basically, it's every human's birthright to study this system. And many people know about the chakra system. Some people don't. I teach spiritual classes all the time, and some people are from the public and they just have never done anything magical or spiritual before. And so I do need to go over the chakras, which I'm sure your viewers know about. But the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, is also just as important, and it's on our body. Like if I backed up into this map, it would be the top, this Keter, Bina, and Hokmah, they would go right on my crown and temples, and then the shoulders. So this is a map that goes overlays on your body too. So that's the first thing. A lot of times, yeah, because a lot of times people think, oh, is it something that Madonna and like Hollywood celebrities study, and they put like a red bracelet around their wrists? I mean, they're just different types. This isn't the type that the kind that I teach is the kind where you're experiencing it through about a 10-month process.
Okay. Yeah, it's really in depth in the limited research that I've done. I know pretty much the general speaking things like you can break it down into planes of existence as
Yeah.
well, and how we're on the bottom with the physical plane, and we're trying to kind of like climb up the tree.
Yeah, well, the tree is actually on a, like we are, yes, this is Malkut here, down here. This is, so these are called Sephirah. Each one's called a Sephirah, but together, plural, it's Sphirot. So these circles are aspects of our divinity, of our God essence. And each one of us has 10, and we're all equal. Everybody's equal, but how much is blocking you from knowing your God essence? And really, we are connected to the divine here. This is Keter, the crown. So that's like almost akin to the crown chakra. It's on the crown chakra. So we want to have it all open, just like all the chakras. A lot of spiritual practices are sort of like glorifying the top part of the chakras, but we're on earth for a reason. We're in a body, and we want to really enjoy the physical, but bring the spirit down into the physical to raise the physical up. So really, you already are connected. It's just are you perceiving any blockages between you and all that is? And that's what climbing the tree of life helps you to dislodge, those blockages between the fact that you have everything you need at this moment. You're completely perfect. Like, yes, there's stuff that you're one with all things, but then there's also perceptions that need to be cleared. I mean, we're not perfect, actually. We have work to do to clear it. But once you uncover it, you'll realize everything's there already.
Yeah, it's just a matter of accessing it and taking down all those blocks.
Yes.
Yeah. Going back to the chakras, you're absolutely right with how people want to focus on the higher chakras, the more spiritual chakras, because those are the ones that are more fun, right? And we already know about the physical. We've been living in it our entire lives. We feel pretty akin to the physical, but we do need both and we can't really plow them apart because honestly, we have to work. We have a lot of work to do in the physical before we can get to the higher points. And that's what I tell my clients all the time, because we've studied heavily with the chakra system. We work with the chakra system through my coaching practices. And you can jump in at any chakra that you want, but you really want to start at the bottom and work your way up, because then everything's not so I don't want to say disproportionate, really, but if you get up here to this third eye chakra, which is the one that everybody wants to focus on, they want to play with that one. It's the fun one, and they'll blow that one open, but you haven't done the work on the lower chakras yet. So with it, all this anxiety comes rushing up, and then you're letting in things that you don't necessarily want to be letting in. And yeah.
I mean, it's good to have everything balanced, really. But yeah, I mean, with when you're talking about starting at the bottom and going to the top, that is what we do with this system. First, we do need to open our chakras so that the light can come down into the physical. A lot of people have some wounding in the root, because of sexual trauma, things like that. But if that opens up, then the tree of life can really be vibrant in your system. And what we do in the process, that the way we train people with this, is we start where we are. So we are in the physical, and we are aware of the physical. I mean, a lot of us do dissociate, though, but when we'll find out that you're here, and you start here because this is the physical. So you look around and see what's going right, what you need to change. And then we go into the subconscious, which is Yesod. And then we go into the mental, intellectual, telling yourself the truth, accessing your beliefs, figuring out what your beliefs are, what beliefs are blocking you. And then we go into the emotional, releasing emotional blockages. So this whole part of the tree of life represents basically your subconscious mind and the blocks that there's a lot of beautiful things about it, but most humans are going to have subconscious issues that they haven't cleared from their childhood, or beliefs that they're pulling into their reality instead of being in the now. And so we want to clear that up. And so the light, when you're actually studying the tree of life with the Modern Mystery School, you're getting onto the bottom of the tree. We put you onto the tree in a magical process. And then the light from the tree will come in, tree of life, into your body, and you'll be able to see things that you weren't able to see before. So you're going to have a lot more awareness. So just to piggyback on what you were saying about the lower chakras, we start at the physical and then start clearing as we climb up to the higher realms.
Okay. So, would you say that the Kabbalah is a different way of looking at the chakra system? They're all like kind of intertwined in the same thing, or are they two separate?
Two separate systems. Separate systems. But I just brought it up just because I wanted people to know how important it is, because we do focus on the chakras, but the tree of life is equally important, and it's on our bodies, and we can work with it in our energy system. It's also how to create like God creates. So there's a lot more to it too. There's many levels. It's very alive, but this is the map or the glyph we use to even broach the subject.
Yeah, it's very complex, and you see a lot of people. I'm using my mouse to point at the map, like you can see that, but or you can't really see my finger anyway. I just try to explain it, which we'll release this in audio first, so people aren't going to be able to see the map anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to explain it.
Yeah, the video will come out also, but it'll be afterwards. But anyway, what I've seen is people focusing heavily on the lower edges of the map, like the lower levels, probably the first 3 or 4 levels, and they kind of don't even touch on the top ones very often at all. Is that because we need to not even worry about those right now? We just focus on lower ones, or do we tackle everything all at once?
Well, we'll work our way up. So if you're listening, go ahead and look up a Tree of Life and have that on hand so that you can look, because it's kind of cool. It's got like a lot of color. It's it's got a lot of variety. So we want the complete system. We are a complete system. We are everything. We're all the chakras. We're the entire tree of life. But the top part of the tree, which is a triangle at the top, there's a triangle. It's called the supernal triad, and that's all spirit. There's nothing physical in that, and it's the oneness with all. And we use the word God a lot because we are God. And I'm God, you're God. And I know that triggers some people, but really once they realize that they are that and they're the creator of their own reality, then it's easy to accept it instead of thinking, okay, somebody from the sky is judging me, or I have to go through a priest to talk to somebody. It's not, it's within you. And so that's what the Kabbalah really helps you do, is to heal that separation, perceived separation between you and all that is. And so the top of the tree is what when I teach people it, we're doing an experiential process where we're climbing up, and at the end we have a culmination where we go across. There's a place here, there's a place underneath the triangle. I'll try to like speak visually. And it's called the abyss. And that's your perceived separation between you and your God self. And so my group actually is going to go, I have a group of 37 who've done this process for the last like 8 months with me, or 9 months. In a couple of weeks, we're going to go to a retreat, and they're going to find a way. They're going to create a bridge from the Sephra Hesed, which you can look it up, over to Bina, which is the divine, kind of like the divine feminine mother god. And then there's a masculine form too. I mean, we have to have that balance. The whole tree has masculine, feminine polarities, and spirit and physical. It's got everything in it. And so, yeah, we definitely want to go to the supernal triad, which is pure spirit. And the whole thing is basically building your soul body up, which is a cube form in between the triangle and the circle. So there's a lot of sacred geometry in the tree, but the cube represents your soul, and your soul is the way that you can get the information from spirit and bring it down into the physical, so that everything you're choosing is alignment with the will of God, which means the good of all, so that everything you're choosing is guided by like a higher perspective, where what you want, but everybody else can also get what they want at the same time. You're not like separation. Oh, I've got to protect myself. I got to compete with this person. I want this because I'm afraid. That's when you're in the lower part of the tree, or the lower chakras, you're going to be more in survival. But when you're embodied with all that, but also the other parts of you are open, you're going to be able to see that we really are one, and we want what we want it to benefit our brothers and sisters at the same time. And the way to do that is to really connect with spirit, and the tree of life helps you with that. So that's another reason to study it.
Yeah, what's good for the individual is good for the whole, and vice versa, because the law of oneness, we really are all just one and different pieces of the same thing, right? It's really exciting, all of the religions got all sectioned off because they were taking stuff like this, which is really complex for your basic, farmer to try to follow. And so, broken up, trying to explain it in terms that they did understand, which became stories, right? Yeah. And then here we are, years later, thousands of years later, and we're finally coming to this place. Thank God for the internet, but it lets us connect to this information more readily and deeper dive into things to understand them more. And we got this visuals and videos and audios. So however we learn as an individual, it's available to us. And I just love that it's all coming together and making sense, because the top of the triangle would be like the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit type thing, right? Yeah.
That, or oneness, Father God, Mother God.
Yeah, because the yin and the yang, there's, we could get into how people broke up religions into their own sense of control, like attempt to sense of control. I am having a really hard time putting words together today. Sometimes things like that, but
all the planets are in retrograde.
They are, and Mercury retrograde started like a couple of days ago, and that one really gets me. But yeah, so tell us a little bit more about galactic activation. Is that related to this?
That's not related to this, but I can talk about it. That is part of the school. So I'm also, the reason why I'm even know how to talk about the Universal Hermetic Ray Kabbalah is because I'm a teacher in the Modern Mystery School, which is an international organization that people could look up. The international webs, yeah, we'll give you the links later. But so in the school, there's a whole path of progression. I can actually show you. I know visuals you're doing. Visuals are probably not as good because you're doing, but that, oh, uh-oh. I think I lost my camera. Can you see me?
I cannot see you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go to my blurry old camera, I guess. Wow, just turning it and I lost my camera. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to change that back to my other camera. Choose virtual background. Oh, I don't know. Well, let me unplug it. That's not working either?
Nope.
Okay, so let me see what I can do. I'm not really a good Zoom person. Choose video filter. Do you know how to do this?
Mine is just kind of a plug and play. So you should be able to just plug it in and it pick up.
I'll try it again, but if you can't see me, we'll just talk. I mean, for the audio people, that'll be okay.
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't know how to troubleshoot that right now. I just plugged in the camera again and I don't think it's working. So I don't know. What do you want me to do? Just stay.
We mentioned Mercury retrograde and
there we go. There we go. Oh. Start video.
Every recording I've done the past like 3 days has had some kind of tech issues like this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Here I am. So talking about the path of progression, I'm not going to show you the image, but so we start with life activation, which is a DNA activation. So I have to tell you about that to get to the galactic activation because it won't make sense. So King Solomon, we're in a lineage from King Solomon, the king from the Bible that people know of. So he got all his the priests and priestesses together, all the medicine people together on the planet, and they got together and did experiments and healed each other like for 30 years and tested it and retested it so that it worked for everybody. Again, it's a universal system regardless of your race, religion, or belief system. So he figured out how to activate 22 strands of our DNA. That means 12 physical strands and 12 spiritual strands, but obviously that adds up to 24. So 2 didn't take. And that's where the galactic activation will come in later. But they tested. And so what that means is when you get your DNA activated, it means that your physical DNA is being activated. So all your lineage, like all the people that make up your body, like if you've ever tripped out on ancestry.com and thought, oh my gosh, these people all had to get together to have me. And if they had it, I'm amalgamation of all these amazing people here, all my ancestors. So it's going to activate the gifts from all the people that came before you. And it'll help start clearing out whatever patterns of abuse or, everybody's got something weird in their lineage, so start clearing that out. So that when you get that activation with a wand, we actually have a wand, then that starts happening. And then also the fact your other part of your DNA is your spiritual DNA. So that's the part that you are a child of. We call it Elohim, Elo and Eloha. That's Father, Mother, God. So you are God because you're the child of God. And so we activate the spiritual DNA. So it helps you remember who you are so that you can actually change your reality instead of being, a lot of people like to be a victim these days and think, oh, this is happening to me. Well, we try to remind people you're at cause. You're the one who's responsible for your reality because you're the creator of it. So now I'll tell you about galactic after giving that background. So he on his deathbed, King Solomon, was really bummed. He's like, I didn't figure out the last 2 strands. I didn't do my mission. And so it sounds wild, but like in 1997, the founder, Gudni Goodnison of our school, he was like getting major like information from these beings. It sounds like Hathors from the Egyptian, but it's called Nathors. And so these galactic beings basically gave him like the formula to how to activate the DNA, the last two strands. And so that's the galactic activation. And so that's harder. Like you need to, it's a 2-day class that you need to go to, and they actually will activate the last two strands. And we're working with the Galactic Federation a lot with the Mystery School now, because it's basically the beings from other, you know, other universes, other systems that are trying to help humans. Like humans are the hottest thing going right now. We're so powerful. We're part physical and we're immortal and immortal at the same time right now. In the physical, we're the God human, like all the systems are watching us. And so they're trying to help us out. And so that's why we have these activations. So that's what the galactic activation does, but it's really cool. I've had it several times. You only need it once. But that's going on in London, I believe, in October. If somebody listening to this is like, oh my gosh, I've got to do that. And then I'm going to bring it to California. I'm going to bring it and host it here if people want to do it.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now with us as beings, and you know, a lot of it has to do with all of this information that's coming in, and we're just over here, you know, frying our brains trying to follow it and keep up with it, because it's a lot, especially since, you know, again, we're mixing what we knew is in the past with what we believed up until recently. And you know, the stories have gotten changed, history's gotten skewed, so we're trying to piece it back together and make sense of it all. And wasn't King Solomon, he was famous for the crystal breastplate, right? Didn't he have?
I think he did have a breastplate. He was also the one in the stories that are published about him in the Bible, which, you know, the Bible got a little bit shifted by Constantine. He got rid of a lot of things, but it's a mystery school. So one of the cool things is you learn kind of like the oral tradition, the handing down that from mouth to ear. But the most popular story of him is when the woman, 2 women came in saying, "This is my baby. No, this is my baby." Have you heard that story? And then he decided he says, "Okay, we'll cut it in half." And then the real mother was like, "No, she can have the baby." And then he knew that that was the mother. That's the King Solomon we're talking about. His father was David, the guy who fought Goliath. So King Solomon was the one who changed, like David was ruling by the sword and King Solomon was ruling by the tongue. He was like, he had asked God for the highest, he could get any gift from God he wanted, and he asked for wisdom and he was given it. So that's why he set up all these systems that obviously it's like been maintained. The Universal Hermetic Ray Kabbalah he's handed down, Egyptian magic, the activations. There's a whole King Solomon healing modality we do. And what I like about it is I know that it doesn't matter if you believe it or not, or where your background is. I know that I'm not wasting your time, or the people doing the healings are not going to be wasting your time, because it already had been tested that it works for everybody. And so even like, you know, I can do it on people that aren't that, like my dad's like more of a normal person. Like he's an accountant, you know, and I'm like, don't you just want to see what I do? And he's like, okay, I'll just do it. And he changed so much after his life activation, and he didn't believe it at all. Like, and I've had some partners, you know, their partner's really into it. They're like, oh God, I love the mystery school. It's changed me. And they drag their partner in, and the partner's like, oh my God, rolling their eyes. Like, I'm just doing this for my mate. They're not into it. But then we all notice changes in that person after they get it. So that's why I like it, because it's definitely not going to waste your time or their time.
So what does it look like?
I can show you the wand if you want to see it.
Okay.
What does it look like to get I don't have a galactic one, but I have the wand to activate DNA. I'll show it to you. It's a really holy item. One moment. It's right over there.
Okay.
So I've got 2 wands. It's this one is from North America, so it's got maple, and then it's got a crystal. And when you have to get a certain initiation level to be able to use this, so it actually works. But maybe I can send light through the screen. And then, but everything has to be done in person with a mystery school, which I like, because we're physical beings. So I actually to activate your DNA, this is a sage. So this is this is more from like North America, Canada, and then this is from, USA sage. So each one, like, and if you go to London, there's a Healers Academy there. That's where you learn how to do this. They have willow. And so it matters what the wood is. It has to be local to the area.
Okay.
And what I do is let's say I start at your occiput and I open up the energy, and then there's 12 codons and I put light into each one. And it basically is, and I seal it. And it basically is taking a God human and taking them out of the matrix and all, so they're starting to get light put into their body that's going to be there forever. It doesn't go away. The activation does not go away. So it's like the best session. Like I hope that the people listening to this go look and find somebody in their area that does this. It's called the life activation. But what it does is it's 22 strand DNA activation. Maybe like somebody needs to hear that and their life's going to be changed. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But so it's cool to listen about it, even if you don't want to do it. It's like, oh, this exists. There's people going around doing this. It's cool to find out.
So would you say it's similar to Reiki?
No, well, Reiki, we do Reiki too, but Reiki is more, to me, I love Reiki, but I have so many healings that will change your life permanently that I've had people ask me, can I get Reiki? And, unless they're like have cancer or something, I pretty much divert them to the life activation. This is the one that I would do on anybody. Like if you came to my area for whatever reason, I have 20 healings. They're all awesome. I would totally just do the life activation on you, because it's going to change you for the rest of your life. You're going to go from 2 strands of DNA to 22 strands activated. And what that does is it starts activating your unique part of the puzzle, like what you're supposed to do, which I need you to do because you're me. You're part of me. Like I want you to be at the top shape. So I did that for all my family. Like the first time when I learned how to do this, the first thing I did was go to my grandma and get my grandma activated. And she was like 93 and really Catholic. And she was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it put light into my whole family, and my whole family is activated. And then I went to my friendship group because I want to be around people that are really happy, and this is knowing who you are and your purpose. It's not like I'm going to tell you, it's like the light's going to go in and it's going to activate what you need. And you're going to go onto a path, making different decisions based on your higher self from that activation. And then that's going to help you step up, or whoever it is that I'm doing it on, and do what they're supposed to do. I mean, you're already doing what you're already doing purpose, but it just gives you more access to all that DNA from your lineage and the DNA from your godhood. So yeah, everybody pretty much needs it. It's like an 1.5 hour session, and
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with Reiki being more a Band-Aid solution.
Yeah.
That's why I have energy healing experience and stuff, but I like to pair it with the coaching, because if we're not figuring out what blocks are causing the issues and like healing those specifically, the Reiki, it'll be great for a while, but your problem's just going to return if you're not addressing it.
Yeah, it's great for I'm definitely pro it. Like if somebody has cancer or like a physical problem, but I used to be a massage therapist a long time ago too. And I just felt like, yeah, it feels good. We need it. We all need, I get massage every 2 weeks. I mean, I'm working so hard. Like you gotta make sure you're a happy person, you're not getting tired or whatever. That's great. But it's not going to change my life and my soul. Yeah. I want to change people's lives as quickly as possible.
I agree completely. Me too. Because again, like you said, we need everybody else to step into their purpose, because that's how, we're trying to create our future, and we're trying to, activate ourselves towards ascension, but it takes a team. It takes all of us. Me and you are only one person. We can only do so much. So we need everybody else pitching in.
All of us or none of us. Really. Yeah. And then we're trying to create Shambhala. I just heard, my guides told me to mention Shambhala because it's just a different word that maybe will spark something within all of us that are listening. Shambhala is heaven on earth, actually peace on earth. So really pulling the light down instead of dissociating and going up and ascending. Ascension is actually pulling light down and bringing earth up to meet it. So Father Sky and Mother Earth. And that's really what we're all meant to do. And that word might spark something within all of us, because Shambhala is what really our mission is to like really realize who we are, know thyself. Okay, well, wow, if I'm a creator, I'm a really cool person. Well, so are you. Like, how could I put you down? Let's not do that anymore. And then all of us come together, and that's what we want to do. That's what we're all trying to do is Shambhala. We just forgot, like a lot of people forgot. And so we like, maybe we're at the front just reminding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just finished, have you read The Secret of Shambhala by James Redfield?
No, I haven't read that. That's cool that book's out there.
Yeah, and I finished it maybe a month ago. So, you wanted to mention it. It sparked something in me. I was like, oh, let's talk about that because I was
good. I'm glad. Yeah. So you already know about Shambhala.
yeah. Well, from that book's account, which
I don't know what he's talking about. I haven't read it.
So James Redfield he's written a series of books starting with the Celestine Prophecy, and it's a really good starter book for people who are just like brand new, dipping their toes into things like this, because for one, it's not a textbook type thing. Some of us, I really like to read textbooks. It's really hard for me to keep my attention focused on a novel type story, but if you can take it and mix the two, I am all about that. And that's really where the magic is. That's where it gets people's attention. So it's a story about a dude who, and it never mentions, it's the same main character through the whole series, and but it never mentions his name. It's just I did this and then I did that, so that's really cool because it kind of takes the identity out of it so that you can place yourself into that character's
that's
experience.
Cool. That's a different way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And every book starts out with him just at his house minding his own business. And then a series of insane events lands him in like Brazil, running from the government and trying to find the pieces of this prophecy. And he ends up in Shambhala, which in the last book is a place, but here it's just we can't see it. It's kind of like the ascension thing, right? So there's people there have moved into like this energetic, they live more with energy, they work with energy, everything is created from them by them.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean that sounds right. I mean, where you're more telepathic and all your gifts are online, and yeah, peace. Basically, Shambhala, what I know of it is it's peace on earth.
Yeah. It's the same thing, like, ascension and transcending the physical plane. We're still here, we're still present. It's just we see things differently, essentially.
Yeah, good. That's where we're headed. Yeah. Or we can do it right now. It's here. It's here. It's just how much awareness do we have of it?
Sure. And it's really hard keeping that awareness and living in that sense when, we're still forced to live in society and culture with our friends and family who think we're insane.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we just have to keep being authentic to ourselves and they'll come around.
Sure, right? They have to. So you teach a lot of other things in your mystery school also, and they're so interesting, like astral.
Yeah. We teach astral travels and sacred geometry up to level 7 of sacred geometry. And astral travel is how to safely move your consciousness or awareness from point A to point B because we have a spirit body that's infinite. So we're not leaving our body. We're just putting our awareness from here to there. So you're not like dissociating or like disembodied with it. And we teach how to do it in a safe way. It's only a 4-hour class. And, you know, at the end of that, you can start to go anywhere in the known universe and get your own answers in a protected space. And you can also go, there's different dimensions you can go to as well. And so that's really fun because we recommend like 2 hours of meditation a day, the mystery school, because it's all about you getting your own answers, but like getting the tools so that you're safe while you do that. The main class I would like to talk about, if I can, is there's a class called Empower Thyself, where you get initiated into the lineage of King Solomon. And that's where it's a 2-day class. I just taught it this weekend, and it helps give you and there's many people all over the world who do it. I'm not promoting just me, you know, I just want people to know this exists, because it's kind of karmically my duty to tell people about it, because it's like I have a plate of food and maybe people are hungry, you know, I need to let them know. So it's a way to like put light around your space. We teach you how to do a magic circle, and then also how to put, we call it the Kabbalistic cross, how to put crosses around you in an octagon. So everywhere you go, you're protected. So you're starting to create like a cocoon of light around you, where you can also, I teach you how to do a call upon ritual, where you actually call in specific angels and energies into your circle. So you're starting to like create a capsule of light, where like the alchemy, there's an alchemical process, and it's like fills with light so that you can start seeing yourself like, okay, the subconscious patterns that you need to let go of, and the beliefs and you know, things that aren't you, we call it the negative ego, would be hard to see if you didn't have a lot of light shining on it. Just like in the physical world, we need light to see, okay, oh, there's cobwebs in the corner. Like when you turn the light on, you can see it. But you can also see, oh my gosh, look at the beautiful, you know, artwork or whatever you can see. But you want to be able to see the negative part of yourself too, so that you can realize it's not actually you, and it's a belief that you don't need. So that's what the Empower Thyself class does. It also puts your will in alignment with the will of God. So most of us are going counterclockwise, which is God is clockwise, the universe is clockwise, and then humans go counter. So we put you with the will of God, and then you get 10 times the light. I actually initiate you with a sword, or whoever is doing it does. So that's what I really like to get people with when you're talking about Reiki and everything else. I was like, yeah, I've got like 100 healing, like so many healings, 20 healings. I'm holding my wands because they're probably making this more powerful. I have all these healings, and I don't even do healings on people. I won't even do it until they do the Empower Thyself, because I'm like, why would I have you spend all this money on healings and with me, when I want to give you a capsule that you could do with yourself every day and get good and get strong within yourself. And then after that, come and get healings. So that's one of the best classes. I just need to let people know about that too. Just in case somebody needs to know, and then they could go to somebody wherever, find it. It's called Empower Thyself. Yeah. Initiation.
Yeah, we're all capable of all of these amazing things, you know. Taking it back to religion for just a second, Jesus, he did all of these things. And it's always really surprised me at how almost everybody misses the fact that he stated that we were capable of all of the same things that he's capable of doing.
I'm totally into that. All the things I've done, ye shall do, and more. Ye are gods and ye don't know it. He wasn't here to put all your mistakes on and just not take responsibility. I mean, that's the opposite. Like people have it wrong. Like, oh, I'm just going to give it to Jesus. Well, he doesn't want to take all your crap, you know, like it's yours. You need to be like Jesus, like take responsibility and be like him. Like that's the whole point. People, yeah, you're right. It's been 2,000 years.
And nobody, like, they all miss it somehow.
We all, I mean, I'm not Christ-like just yet either, but but I would like to be that way. And that is an aspiration. That is what he's there for, is like an example of the supreme, powerful God human, which we are. That's the whole point. I am the light in the way. Okay, well, watch my example and do what I did, which is not judge people, love people, I don't know, forgive everybody. And then if you don't have a lot of emotional drama, you don't have a lot of stuff in your energy field, in your soul body, clogging it. The soul body wasn't meant to hold your the unexpressed emotions. And so he didn't have any of that. That's why he was able to do like all the miracles. And we could do that too. So that's great. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's rare that somebody you've never met before, I mean, I just met you today, would have that same view on something. So, in a way, it's like a very hot button issue for people, I'm sure.
It is, which makes no sense to me because I grew up in church. I didn't pay a ton of attention. I was very disassociative in there. Like my body was there, my mind was not. But I did catch those things, because he could do all these cool magic tricks. All right, I'm into that. And then they kept telling me, he was like, be like me. You can do this too. And like 8-year-old me was like, oh, that's what, okay, yeah, let's go. How do I do that? Teach me how to do that. And all of the other like stories and stuff as far as like morals go. And I mean, like we have all these stories and in the Bible. And I mean, I don't understand why we need this many to just be a decent person. Like, did you catch that part? It's just be a decent person. Like you like you said, don't judge people, don't kill people. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I thought. But and for sure, we don't want to put ourselves up on a pedestal and be like, I am like Jesus or anything like that. Like, no, that's our goal. It's our focus. That's our example to live by. And a lot of people, they're really into the Christian practices and belief systems and going to church and studying the Bible and stuff, but then like they'll be talking about people and judging people and having opinions about other people's lives, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you miss it? I don't understand how you miss it.
That's why a lot of people that come to my class, like we mention Jesus a lot. So half the people are like, oh my gosh, thank God you're mentioning Jesus. I was raised Christian. I'd be totally creeped out by this school if you didn't do it, right? And then the other half is like, oh my gosh, I'm triggered. And I understand why. I mean, it's our responsibility to clear our triggers. We're only as, triggers are it's our weaknesses that we need to take responsibility to heal. But I help them heal it because they've been judged, or they found people who identify as a Christian are like really mean and have been very hateful. And so then unfortunately, this amazing person that's our brother, and yes, let's aspire to be like him. And if we become like him, that'd be great for everybody. Like the whole entire bar would be raised for all of humanity if another one of us gets Christed. That'd be great. Like, let's all do it. But but then he's now thrown out, like the baby with the bathwater. So people, the best person, the best archetype, when we don't really have that many people to look up to these days in society that inspire us, now he's got sullied. I mean, and if you think of the forces of like just a negative force, that's very smart to take this amazing golden person and sully him in the minds of most people. So that's what I always have to do, is I have to like spend a lot of my class being like telling the same exact thing that you just talked about with me, and be like, no, oh my gosh, that's not the real Christ. Like, don't throw this guy out. He's really powerful. Like his name, you can actually use his name to really get through some blockages by invoking that energy. So yeah, it's really smart how whatever is opposed to the light has sullied the name of somebody so good and confused people.
It's definitely confused people. On one hand, he was like, hey, I can do all of these things that you can. And let's take healing, for example. Healing the sick, these miraculous healing powers. But the moment so he taught, you can do this, please try to do this. And then, but the moment that we actively in our now in daytime try to do that, people start throwing out the word witch and witchcraft and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird. I don't know. I mean, those are old. Sometimes some of the ways that we protect ourselves too is been handed down by like shamanic societies. And it, like nowadays, a lot of people just say, okay, we'll just put all the responsibility on Christ instead of actually taking responsibility for like protecting your space. Like like I have a crystal grid put up on the ceiling that I teach. That's called Sacred Geometry Level 2. I just gridded somebody's house yesterday all day. Or I put herbs in the corner. I mean, this is smart. Like we are responsible for our space. And so again, vilifying magical practices isn't helping anybody. So, but we have to just talk to the people that are ready and just bless the people that aren't, and that's okay. I've learned just not to put my pearls before swine. Like if people do not want to hear, if they're not into what I'm saying, I really am not going to push anybody. I like to work with the people that are ready and have earned, like they've worked on themselves and they're ready to hear the deeper teachings. That's my focus, because I've learned the hard way, like, yeah, we want to help everybody, but everybody has to go through that. And you know what? Everybody has their own path too. So like either of us, we have our own thing going. To even assume that what we're doing is the only way or right for everybody is so arrogant anyway, So like if somebody's not interested, I put my hand, I just completely do not push them, and they can find something that works for them. And I mean, this worked for me. I'm stoked on it. For me, it's changed my life. And whoever's interested, by all means come. But if there's anything that's really not aligning with you, absolutely, I wouldn't push my beliefs on anybody like that.
Oh, sure. No, it's a complete waste of time and energy.
Yeah.
There's lots of again, we're only one person and we can only do so much. And it's in everyone's best interests, ourselves and our students and our clients, everybody's, to just give that time and energy and space to those who are receptive.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good lesson to learn.
Well, we all have to learn it the hard way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you could warn people not to do it, but strangely, it's wise to learn from other people's mistakes. I think it's the best way, but I like to get my hand burnt. I like to really I need to learn the hard way usually. So then it's really embedded in me. And then I know, okay, that did not feel good. Let's not do that again.
So tell us about your book. It's coming out this month, right? Or this coming month? At the recording, by the time this releases, it'll already be out probably.
It's okay. It still will really help people. The reason why I write it's called Spiritual Shortcuts. It's 7 keys to unlocking your potential. And it's all the stuff that I learned the hard way. Really. So it's funny that you just mentioned my book, because I was just thinking about that. I took a long time to get some keys that are really easy. So, okay, first of all, there's no shortcut. The shortcut, whenever we talk about a shortcut, we're talking about the path up the mountain without the switchbacks. That's harder, but it's quicker. So these are like ways that you can bypass a lot of the trial and error, but still own your own path. I think struggle is really wonderful. Pain is good for learning. Suffering's not good, but pain and learning your own lessons is really good. So I don't want to take anybody's lessons, but I'm just telling you some shortcuts that I think will help you and us get to the top of the mountain together quicker, because I really want Shambhala and I don't want you all to waste your time like I did. And I don't think that these things might be part of your lesson personally. Like if you're lucky enough to find the book, that means that you didn't need to go through the hardship to learn some easier ways of doing things. And so I'm just going to trust that if you get it, it's because you've already earned the right to get it. But yeah, it's like a nice thin book. I do not like reading long books. It's got pictures, because I want my eye to be broken up. I don't want to, but there's only like 2 or 3 pages where it's a page and a page. It's only 110 pages, 110. I wish it was 111. That'd be cool, but it's still 11 if you take the 0 off. And it's got lots of quotes in it, but it's really magical. And I'm really excited about it. I wrote this book because I had a very difficult time in college. I went through a trauma, which is explained in my book. And I got depressed, and I was like, I used to be really, really idealistic and kind of like a Disney princess or something, like everything's great, rose colored glasses. And then I got slammed and I was really depressed, and I started creating like a negative reality for myself because I was depressed, and then that created negativity, and then that led me to believe that this is the way the world is. Oh, everything does suck. And then I went home to my mom's house, and she had a book called Life is a Spiritual Experience, Metaphysics Made Practical, and it was a tiny book. It had lots of quotes. It didn't have a lot of words without breaking it up with a picture or something. And I applied it, and it was about how our thoughts are things, if you have a negative thought, you're going to create it. It's a higher vibration. It's going to come in like quantum physics. It's going to come into the reality, and then we're going to play it out. And so I applied it, and my life got better. And so I always wanted to help people with a book, because I really don't think that I would be where I am today. And I'm very successful. A lot of people are coming to me for healings. I mean, I'm a full-time healer teacher, and I'm really grateful, so I definitely want to give back. And so I hope you guys find the book, Spiritual Shortcuts. I have the link already for I'll give it to you later for the Kindle version, but I think getting the actual copy will be cool because it's got like a purple cover with a golden key in it. Just like to feel it and have it with you. So there's like 7 spiritual shortcuts that I give.
Cool. Yeah, we definitely what we focus on is what we create. And the universe brings us things when we need them, if we're just receptive and open to paying attention. So exactly, yeah, if they found themselves within reach of your book, that's probably a sign that they need to check it out.
I'm glad that I just learned that myself when I was talking. I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to take any, but if they find it, then they're meant to find it. I just realized that today. I'm like, that's cool. Good. Because I do believe in like having your own lessons. I don't like being spoon-fed too. I love all the hard lessons I've learned. It's part of my story. So I really think earning things it's not like what's in right now. A lot of people are entitled. They think they deserve everything. And really, you want to struggle. Like structure and discipline is something that we need.
Character building.
It's really good. So I think, but yeah, if you find the book, I mean, it's not going to solve all your problems. It's just going to definitely help you a little bit, like get a little leg up.
Yeah, we can give them all the tools in the world. It's still up to them to do the work themselves. And some people can be given all of the spoon-fed stuff, and they will still choose the hard route.
Yeah, just like let's say if you have money issues and you win the lottery,
yep,
you have a pattern of money issues, then you're going to just lose the money anyway.
Yep.
That's the core issue that we need to work on before. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So this has been absolutely fun. We touched on a lot of different subjects that we don't usually get to touch on the podcast because, again, this information is not as widely known as some of the other aspects, but we're getting there. And before we know it, it's all going to be common knowledge, which I am super excited about. And then we can start entering that peace on earth. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad that there's something new for your listeners, and the Holy Kabbalah, anytime it's open to the public that it comes out, it's a renaissance.
Yeah.
Because this is the pattern of how to create like the creator. And I recommend studying it. Like if you can't find the mystery school, we'll give the link of the next class that I'm doing. But if you're resistant to that for whatever reason, I would recommend Simplified Kabbalah Magic by Ted Andrews is like one of the books that's easy to read, and you'll get at least something that you can take with you to read too, with this podcast.
Yeah, well, awesome. I would say to let people know where they can get in touch in you, but I think we've pretty much covered it, right?
Yeah. Well, Modern Mystery School NorCal is my website. I gave the INT website, but not mine, and mine will have the link for the Kabbalah.
All right, cool. And I'll have all of that linked down below. And if anybody's interested, they can definitely reach out.
Thank you so much for taking the time to open up to new information.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it with us.
Okay, cool.